Skip Bayless finally found the replacement for Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. A few days ago, Skip announced that Lil Wayne, of all people, would be joining him on Fridays on Undisputed to talk about sports for about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how good Lil Wayne's takes were or what the topic was. And in my opinion, this really looks bad for Skip Bayless. Let's talk about Skip Bayless for a second. Skip Bayless, as much as I hate to admit it, has a place in sports. He's had a say, a voice in sports for literally my entire life. Skip Bayless started covering sports like all the way back in the 70s. He wrote for the Chicago Tribune when Michael Jordan was playing for the Chicago Bulls. Then he wrote for the LA Times, and then he wrote for a Dallas newspaper covering the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. And then he got his start on TV with ESPN on First Take. And he was the antithesis to Stephen A. Smith. So Skip Bayless has had a place in our culture in sports for decades. You can either hate Skip Bayless or love Skip Bayless. I haven't really seen people in the middle, who just like, okay, he's there, whatever, and he can do him and I can do me. No, it's either you hate Skip Bayless or you love Skip Bayless. Undisputed was one of the only sports TV shows that I really enjoyed watching alongside Colin Cowherd. I never really watched ESPN with Stephen A. Smith. Number one, because Stephen A. Smith, I feel, is too loud, tries to overtalk a lot of people. Ever since Skip left, the dynamic there with Max Kellerman just wasn't good. And then also I didn't like the politicization of ESPN. I didn't like that, and I liked Colin Cowherd. He just kept to sports, and Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe were a great duo. They were the great antithesis to their personalities. Skip Bayless has pissed off a lot of people in the sports world, and that brings me to why this looks bad for Skip Bayless. The reason Lil Wayne joining Undisputed doesn't work is because Lil Wayne's not a sports personality. That's not what Lil Wayne's known for. Lil Wayne didn't come out of the sports world. It's not like he was an athlete, then pivoted into talking about sports. Lil Wayne's a musician. Lil Wayne has a completely different profession. Now granted, Skip Bayless and Lil Wayne have had this friendship for a decade or so. I don't know how it started. I don't know why. I don't know where they met. They seem like they wouldn't run in the same circles, but Lil Wayne and Skip Bayless have a relationship, a good relationship, to the point where Skip and his wife go to Lil Wayne's house and they have dinner and stuff like that. It's a really bizarre relationship. And that's why he tapped Lil Wayne to come join him on Undisputed to replace Shannon Sharpe. It speaks bad character to Skip Bayless because it says that Skip is so bad to work with, or he sucks to work with, that he has to go get an outsider that's going to tolerate him. Because Skip Bayless has pissed off a lot of people in the sports world. As we all know, Skip Bayless is first and foremost, if he's anything in this world, a LeBron hater. The number one LeBron hater there ever was, there ever will be, and there is. Of course, that kind of hate pisses off a lot of people. LeBron has done a lot of great things in the NBA, right? He's a great basketball player. Either number one or number two, depending on who you talk to. And to see Skip Bayless bash on LeBron James for years and years and years made a lot of people turn sour to him. LeBron has never replied to Skip Bayless. He's just never entertained Skip, even though Skip has hurled hate towards him time and time again. But then there's not only just LeBron and LeBron's camp. During his time when he was covering the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, Skip Bayless started a rumor about Troy Aikman being potentially gay. And at the time, you have to remember, this is the 90s, this is a different time, and the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, being gay would have been a crazy big thing, right? It would have been like the talk of the town. It would have been, right? And Skip Bayless, I don't know what it was, Skip Bayless wrote insinuating that Troy Aikman might be gay. And that hurt Troy Aikman and hurt his career so much so that Troy still talks about it to this day. That was one of the shady things that Skip Bayless has done in the past. So there's that, and then there's the hate, the constant hate on LeBron no matter what LeBron does. But then there's also other players, right? Like Richard Sherman, for example, who literally called on to ESPN, First Take, to tell Skip Bayless that he's better at life than him because Skip Bayless
now
in my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you.
Okay.
So
All right, that's fair.
Let's
just talks down on so many people, and he gets on a lot of players' nerves. Then there is Mark Cuban. Do you guys remember Mark Cuban literally coming on to ESPN First Take in order to put Skip Bayless in his place? He came on and he told Skip Bayless doesn't know what he's talking about. He speaks in generalities and he can't really substantiate his talking points. Wipe the floor with Skip Bayless. For all of you who don't know, Mark Cuban is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
You didn't have to defend it.
Oh, right. So no matter what we did, he was just going to stand there and do nothing.
Well, that's all I saw. That was a lot of it.
That's exactly right, Chip.
And hope
that's
that
all
Dwayne
you
Wade
saw.
So there are a plethora of people who don't like Skip Bayless in a sports world that are not connected in terms of sportscasting. But then there's the sportscasting world. There's a lot of people that don't like Skip Bayless in the sportscasting world. One of them being Charles Barkley. He is on NBA on TNT, and he has made it vehemently clear that he doesn't like Skip Bayless at all. Then there is what happened with Shannon Sharpe. Prior to Shannon Sharpe going and joining Skip Bayless on Undisputed, he used to be on CBS. And Skip Bayless personally asked for Shannon Sharpe to come join him, just like how he's personally asking for Lil Wayne to come join him on Undisputed now. And it was all good. But as the years went on, as the bickering, as the constant hate no matter what LeBron did, and the constant praise of Tom Brady no matter what Tom Brady did, it started getting in the way of those two guys' relationship. Because you have to remember, Shannon Sharpe doesn't just defend LeBron James because he's a faraway player. Shannon Sharpe knows LeBron James. He has a relationship with LeBron James, right? So when Skip Bayless consistently, constantly bashes LeBron James no matter what he does, it's like a diss towards a friend of yours, right? And as the years went on, the show ran for 6 years. As the years went on, you could start to see the animosity build up between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, culminating in what happened this year and Shannon Sharpe ultimately leaving after what happened with Damar Hamilin and Skip Bayless putting sports above the life of somebody else, Damar Hamilin, who almost died on the field. And 2 months prior to that, they got into an argument about Tom Brady, which Skip Bayless went and crossed the line and went personal and said that Shannon Sharpe only hates Tom Brady because he is jealous of him, even though Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer and a 3-time Super Bowl winner. So it just, the relationship collapsed and it just didn't work. And it shone a light on the character, on the type of person that Skip Bayless is. What is that? Skip Bayless is the type of person that's really hard to be around, really hard to work with. Why? Because Skip Bayless thinks of himself as if he's in a vacuum. And I think it's helped him throughout his career, but it's also been detrimental to his career. It pays and it helps to be firm and stern in your stance and your takes, right? About sports. It lends you more credibility. But it gets to the point where it does, when you criticize somebody like LeBron James, and it doesn't matter what he does, he could win 8 more championships and it wouldn't matter. It also hurts your credibility and it also shines a light on your character. You're one stubborn person. You're hard to work with. And Skip Bayless has shown that to his coworkers. It wasn't only Shannon Sharpe that didn't want to work with Skip Bayless anymore on Undisputed. If you guys remember, Jenny Taft also one time got into an argument on air with Skip Bayless over a coach that coaches in Minnesota. I think it was the football coach for the University of Minnesota. And Skip Bayless made a remark about his weight and Jenny Taft didn't like that. And they got into a verbal kind of battle on air. Jenny called him out on it, right? And I think that played a role in why Jenny Taft was shifted to doing sideline reporting instead of being one of the co-hosts on Undisputed. Just like what happened with Shannon Sharpe, given a long period of time, I think Skip Bayless and Lil Wayne will have a falling out eventually because of the type of person that Skip Bayless is. Hard to adjust to others, doesn't apologize when he's wrong. That coupled with the type of work that he does, arguing with someone, it doesn't make for long-term success in terms of going up against a friend. You're going to have friction and a falling out. And that's what happened with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is in talks to join ESPN. If he does, good for him. He deserves it. I want to see Shannon Sharpe back on the air. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, kids.